Okay, so Google is trying to use AI-powered technology with their new Pixel 8 Pro to entice customers away from Apple's iPhones and Samsung's Galaxy lineup of phones. But there's a question in the back of my mind that I'm trying to answer right now. Even though this phone is competitively priced against the iPhone and the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, is it worth the $100 price hike? More importantly, is it worth $300 more than the standard Pixel? That's what we're going to try to answer in today's episode. Now, here's some things that rather annoy me with this phone, because I'm kind of pissed off at this point, because this starts off at 128 gigabytes. This is not what I'm pissed off about, but I will get to that in a second. It starts off with 128 gigabytes, right? Whereas iPhone and Samsung now offer 256 for their base storage options on their flagship models. Google, if you want this to be a flagship, you need to step this up just a little bit more. You need 256 to start. Now, you can pick up 256, 512, and 1 terabyte with this phone, but all it does is widen that gap between this and the Pixel 8 Pro that much more when it comes to price. Now, things that are absolutely pissing me off with this phone. First of all, the sensor on the front, not even close to responsive. The S23 Ultra, way more responsive. I have to tap it 5 or 6 times just to unlock the phone. What's even worse is the double tap to screenshot on the back of the phone. I feel like it's worse than what I got last year with the Pixel 7 Pro. And third of all, the summarize feature with this phone. Okay, so summarize is an action to where it can go ahead and summarize a page for you if you're reading an article in Google Chrome. I don't have that. I'm in the United States and I don't have that. So you're advertising this with the phone. People that are outside of the United States are rather frustrated because they can't get it yet. However, it's only available in the United States as of right now, but I still don't have it. And I'm not the only one. I read a few forums online. Some other people don't have this feature either. But let's not have that hold us back. Let's get into design because there's a ton of good stuff with this phone. The Pixel 8 Pro's design changes may go unnoticed at first glance, but they do enhance its usability. While it still maintains its Pixel DNA with features like the camera bump and metal trim, 2 prominent modifications do stand out. This new matte finish offers a much better grip, deviating from the smoother glass and metal construction of the previous models. The bay color option, which is what we're rocking with, has a lighter bluish hue that adds a fresh choice to the standard black and white options that we're used to. However, a design concern does arise from Google's return to a single glass panel for that triple camera setup, which can make the cameras vulnerable as seen in previous models. Despite this, the Pixel 8 Pro maintains its comfortable feel, robust build, IPX68 water and dust resistance, meeting the expectations of most flagships out in today's market. This Pixel 8 Pro now also sports a new temperature sensor. It practically seems somewhat limited, positioned on the back of the phone just below the camera's LED flash. The sensor is not currently used for measuring body temperature, but is intended for gauging the surface temperature of objects. This feature has practical applications like checking the surface temperature of the ground, maybe say for your pets, but I think you'd be much better off relying on common sense for such scenarios. Now, when it came to its display, the Pixel 7 Pro faced criticism for its dimmer, darker screen, but Google has addressed this issue with the Pixel 8 Pro's 6.7-inch 1344 by 2992 Super Actua display. Its display does boast some impressive specs: 1600 nits in HDR when it comes to brightness, and 2400 nits of peak brightness, which compared to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, I believe is only at 2000. Additionally, the 120Hz refresh rate provides a smooth scrolling experience, and it does offer potential battery savings, further enhancing this display's quality. Now, overall, the improvements for me are significant when it comes to its display. I mean, last year on the Pixel 7 Pro, I think we only got like 930 nits for peak brightness. This Pixel 8 Pro is more than double that, making that price point that much more enticing. Now, let's get into software and calls. Android 14 on the Pixel 8 Pro introduces exclusive features that emphasize Google's AI integration. While the visual interface remains familiar, the Pixel's distinctiveness lies in the increased role of Google Assistant. When it comes to phone calls, this year's enhancements to Google Assistant on the Pixel 8 Pro include improved call screening, making the AI-generated voice sound remarkably human. For example, UPS or FedEx want to drop off a package. You either can't or don't want to answer the phone. Google Assistant answers for you through the AI, and you simply say, hey, just leave it at the doorstep. And it will go ahead and relay that information to the driver on the phone in real time. That's pretty much it. Summarize, on the other hand, is another awesome feature according to Google. Google Assistant on the Pixel 8 Pro offers a text summarization feature, making it convenient to extract key information from lengthy passages in Chrome or the Google app. but I don't have Summarize yet. I don't understand. Like, Google has stated that this feature is coming to the US first, which is fine, but I am in the US. So let me know down below in the comment section if you guys are experiencing the same thing with your Pixel 8 Pro and you live in the United States. Google also now guarantees 7 years of software and security updates, ensuring these phones have a longer lifespan compared to their peers. When it comes to performance, Google is advertising the Tensor G3 chip as their most powerful chip yet, but at the same time, it's facing tough competition from Apple and the A17 Pro chip, along with the Samsung S23 Ultra and the Snapdragon 8-2 chip that's also running in that phone. I mean, look at Geekbench scores, for example. It gave me 1699 for a single core score and 3666 for a multi-core score. Similar to the S23 Ultra for the single core score, which is almost a year old. However, it gets completely demolished by the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which comes in at 2783 for the single core score and 6945 for the multi-core score. Almost double what you see on the Pixel 8 Pro, and they released at almost the same time. Now, as an added bonus, Google did go ahead and add Wi-Fi 7 to this phone for much faster streaming and better connectivity options. But to be quite honest with you guys, you'd have to have a Wi-Fi 7 router to get that full capability, which I don't even think I have yet. Now let's get into the good stuff. Cameras. This sees a remarkable jump over last year, especially in the video category. The Pixel 8 Pro differentiates itself from the standard Pixel 8 with its triple camera setup on the back. This arrangement includes a 50 megapixel main camera, a 48 megapixel ultra wide camera, which is a significant upgrade from the 12 megapixels we saw in the Pixel 7 Pro, and a 48 megapixel telephoto with 5x optical zoom. The main distinctions between the Pixel 8 Pro's cameras and the Pixel 8 are the higher resolution ultra wide camera and the 5x zoom telephoto lens. Selfies from the Pixel 8 Pro's 10.5 megapixel front-facing camera are generally pleasant with minor overexposure in some areas. But in all honesty, I don't think this even comes close to the iPhone 15 Pro Max in certain scenarios. But then in other scenarios, it's super weird. It outperforms the iPhone 15 Pro Max thanks to software. Say I'm driving and I'm just looking at the sky, I'm recording with both phones. The iPhone 15 Pro Max might seem like it has a bit more noise in certain videos. But then I'll be in complete darkness, say for example of this video of me in the Tesla with the steering wheel, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max has almost no noise, and the Pixel 8 Pro has a ton. Super weird. The 5x telephoto camera, on the other hand, captures vivid photos with punchy colors and outstanding dynamic range. It reveals more detail in shadowed areas, but the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 5x telephoto zoom is much sharper and provides more definition in most of the photos that I took. When it comes to macro mode, both the Pixel 8 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max produce bright and vibrant images. However, upon closer examination, the Pixel 8 Pro shots don't seem to be as sharp as the iPhone 15 Pro Max's in my testing. Then when it comes to low-light photography, the Pixel 8 Pro, while capable, falls slightly behind its rivals. Its low-light performance is underexposed and has softer details compared to the brighter and much more detailed images produced by the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Now we do have Magic Editor this time around instead of Magic Eraser. We have Magic Eraser still, but Magic Eraser, if you guys remember, was you take a photo and if someone was in your actual photo and you didn't want them there, you kind of just circle them and the AI technology will get rid of that person for you in that photo. This time around with Magic Editor, you can pick up a subject or a person and move them to a different part of the picture, which I guess could work good in some situations, but I mean, what even is a photo anymore, right? Like, everything's, like, it feels fake. I'm going back to a disposable camera. But then you have the best take feature, which I kind of actually agree with in certain scenarios. Say you're at a holiday dinner, Christmas party, Thanksgiving, whatever it is, and you take a burst of, say, 20 photos, and there's 10 people in this actual photo. What it does is, say if 3 of the people in the photo are completely looking away or not paying attention, and then the next photo, they're looking right at the camera, but someone else is moving away. You can go ahead and take a bunch of these photos and use AI to get the perfect face from each one of the separate photos and combine them into one to get the ultimate portrait, which works really well for most families and general consumers. For me, I feel like everyone looking away and making a stupid face or not being in the photo is what really brings out the joy and time of the moment when you're reflecting back on that photo down the road, because it's just something to talk about. Botched family photos are a thing of the past. Speaking of the future, there's a new feature coming out called Video Boost. Pretty much all you do is you take a video, then you upload it to the cloud. It's a cloud-based software that goes ahead and edits your video for you and then sends it back. with, I guess, better quality. We'll see how that works. It's not out yet, but it's a feature that is coming soon with the Pixel 8 Pro. But you know what's really good this time around is battery life with the Pixel 8 Pro. Now, it's not outstanding, 5,050 for the milliamp when it comes to the battery, but it's much better than what we saw with the 7 or 8 hours that we got with the Pixel 7 Pro last year. Now, it's around 10, 11 hours of on-screen time. At the same time, it goes from 0 to 50% in like 35 minutes, 40 minutes, so it does charge rather fast. But it is a bit less than what we saw with the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Galaxy S23 Ultra, which I feel like are like over 13 hours of on-screen time at the end of the day. The Pixel 8 Pro stands out as one of the smartest phones with AI-assisted features that streamline tasks and make them that much more efficient. It excels in simplifying complex tasks such as effortless photo editing with Magic Editor and intelligent call screening with Call Screen. Compared to its predecessor, the Pixel 8 Pro is a significant improvement and ranks higher in the list of the best phones. However, it still falls short in some categories such as performance, cameras, and battery life when you're comparing it to other flagships out in today's market like the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the S23 Ultra, which is soon going to be the S24 Ultra here in the next couple of months. Nonetheless, I feel like the Pixel 8 Pro does maintain its competitive edge through its much more affordable pricing, saving users a substantial amount compared to its closest rivals. It offers great value in a flagship phone, making it a satisfying choice. Listen guys, it's not perfect all the time, okay? In typical Google fashion, I do experience glitches with this phone. Sometimes it's not as snappy as I want it to be. Sometimes apps close, sometimes they open, sometimes the fingerprint scanner doesn't work, okay? It's not as responsive as my S23 Ultra. And the haptic feedback on the phone isn't also that responsive when it comes to actually taking screenshots. But with all that said, this is a significant improvement over the Pixel 7 Pro that we saw last year, and I really like this phone. Now, to be completely transparent with you guys, my typical daily phones that I'm using right now are the Pixel Fold and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I love using both of those phones. I do like the Pixel Fold a lot more than the Pixel 8 Pro. But if the Pixel 8 Pro was the only thing I could pick and the Pixel Fold didn't exist, I would definitely use the Pixel 8 Pro and the iPhone 15 Pro Max as my daily drivers. I would take the Pixel 8 Pro over the Samsung S23 Ultra just because of the AI capabilities. I like how the Pixel feels overall in comparison. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section where you'll also find the links to everything that we covered in today's episode. If you want to see more, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DetroitFury. And if you enjoy this content, please make sure you smash that like button for me, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in my next episode. Peace.